Crosshair, Gungans, Endor, Leia. Oh my! We got a lot to talk about today. We have 3 brand new characters coming to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and people are going wild. What's it all about? Tell me! We know right now we're in the middle of waiting for Calcasts and the Leviathan to show up the Galaxy of Heroes. But there's nothing wrong with keeping our eyes towards the future. And even though our eyes are towards the future, it's important to make sure we're capitalizing on what's going on right now. With the Crate Dragon Raid, Rise of the Empire Grand Arena, definitely the right time to take a look at your mods and making sure you're maximizing your mod capabilities. If you need someone to remod your roster from top to bottom, give you advice in the Crate Dragon Raids, Rise of the Empire Grand Arena efficiency, hit up Pimpo. He'll remod your roster and give you the tailored advice you need to dominate Galaxy Heroes. So this hype we're getting right before the weekend's coming from the data mines. The data mines are kind of the unofficial road ahead state of the galaxy for Galaxy of Heroes nowadays. We're seeing a couple of things that's really getting people interested, and we're going to kind of lay out what's going on and remind you guys of some things that we know, such as the leaked roadmap from 2023 that we found out last year. Now, to start us off, the data mines show that there's 3 new character bundles coming to Galaxy of Heroes. Now, although it says character bundle, it could also be a ship pack. So, for example, brand new ships. I'm not sure if we're going to get more new ships at the very moment it stands. We're just coming off the last 2 ships needed for the Leviathan, the Mark 6 Interceptor, the TIE Dagger, and of course, Fury Class Interceptor for Malgus, which we're going to be unlocking in about a week from now. But I'm kind of leaning towards this should be character stuff, and I want to put something on your radar before we kind of go into what these characters could likely be. Now, it's been about a year since we had the last Galactic Legend announced, which was Jabba the Hutt. We found out back in July 2022, and then, it takes about a few months. 3 months later, we finally were able to unlock Jabba. I want to put it out there. This could very well be the next Galactic Legend requirements here. Almost all characters that come to the game are needed for some important purpose, whether it's a new game mode, a legendary, Galactic Legend. There's not a lot of characters that aren't needed for something. So I just want to put it out there. There could be a very good chance, because we are due for a road ahead. We know the Leviathan Calcasts are coming. They usually let us know, all right, what's the next big thing? These characters could very well be it. It's kind of timing out how the Jabba requirements were. But I think there's a few possible directions to go to. Yes, Galactic Legends could be a thing. Right now, the speculation, there is no confirmation or even a leak. The speculation is right now we're going to get a Leia Galactic Legend. We've been talking about that for a couple months now. In case you haven't seen it, there's a card in the top right-hand corner if you want to see the speculation on where this is coming from in the community. But also within this data mine, we're also finding out that there's a couple of interesting bundles, and I'm not sure 100% if that has any correlation with these new characters coming to Galaxy of Heroes. But a few things of obvious note. We're getting a lot of different packs, for example, to help boost up your Marin, your Tarful, yada, 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 to help out your Calcasts farm. We're also seeing things like Baslashan, Jolie boosters. So I'm putting it out there. I don't think those packs have any connection with this character release that we're going to have soon, but there are 2 that are kind of interesting. We have an Ewok bundle, funny enough, and we also have several Bad Batch packs, which is kind of odd to release out of nowhere. There's a Bad Batch Ultimate, Bad Batch Premium, and a Bad Batch Character Chant. Seems a little odd, don't you think? So I kind of want to focus on those 2. I'm going to bring out the Ewoks first. Ewok Squad bundle. I'm not 100% sure if that means we're getting new Ewoks, because right now, for example, I'm chasing after Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, and I need to get C-3PO, so I'm currently working on my Ewoks, and I've been getting a lot of spam Ewok, buy this pack, so it could just be like another pack to help C-3PO users, because Jedi Knight Luke and Jabba became a lot more important to chase after the game. But it could very well be possible. The speculation out there is that Endor Leia, or maybe a General Leia from the sequels, is coming to Galaxy, which makes sense. The Rebel faction is huge. There is no Galactic Legend. Ewoks are very under geared. People keep it at kind of bare minimum around gear 10, 11, maybe 12. They get C-3PO and they leave them be. Prime ripe opportunity for CG to make those actual requirements for a new Leia. I wouldn't be too surprised if it isn't Endor Leia that we see Leia with Ewoks to be some sort of GL level team. That'd be pretty funny. And speaking of Endor Leia, I'm just putting it out there. There's no indication of this whatsoever. I would love to see a Scout Trooper finally. That'd be pretty neat. Very good chance they could bring out a Scout Trooper and make it required for a new Leia. Not out of the question. Not too far-fetched. Also, something to note that's interesting. You would think in Rise of the Empire, Endor would be on the map somewhere. And I just didn't really let this settle in until just today. We don't have Endor in Rise of the Empire. And we know they're adding new planets. For example, with the addition of Jedi Knight Calcasts, they're adding a new planet, Zepho. So we know they're expanding the planets. Endor could easily be on that list. But I want to talk about the Bad Batch for a moment. I want to remind you guys, last year in 2022, before the announcement of Rise of the Empire, Crate Dragon, I know it's been a minute, in case you need a reference, card in the top right-hand corner, if you kind of want to see what has come to fruition, we saw, for example, that Calcasts, we're supposed to get a Calcasts, and that happened. Technically, 2 Calcasts are coming to the game. We also saw that, for example, the Pike Syndicate were coming. It wasn't wrong. We did get all that stuff, but it was in Rise of the Empire. But I kind of want to emphasize the fact that Crosshair is a fan favorite character out there. A lot of people like him. We've been asking for him for a while, and it has been, what is it, almost roughly a year since, right? Has it been that long? I kind of lost track of how long it's been. Usually CG adds stuff from a popular TV show, movie, roughly a year after sometimes. Book of Boba Fett, we got a year later. We got the Tusken Love and the Krayt Dragon stuff. Bad Batch happened a year after the Clone Wars season finale. It's usually kind of how the pacing goes. So I wouldn't be putting it out of the question if we get Crosshair in the game finally. I would love it. Funny enough, labeled as light side Imperial Trooper inside of Rise of the Empire, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Imperial Troopers have been losing a little bit of edge, at least in my neck, and it's still very good in the grand scheme of the game, but I wouldn't mind an Imperial Trooper that's light side. Be interesting. So that's kind of, at least if we're connecting everything from the data mine, good chance we might be getting something to build up to a new Galactic Legend. I kind of feel like that might be where we should put our minds at. We're probably due for a Galactic Legend, at least one a year. It's been almost a year since the last one was announced. Very high chances that, decent chance it could be Bad Batch, but what about some other stuff? But what I want to do is reference to what that leaked roadmap was last year that we talked about, and a couple of interesting things were on there as well. Bail Organa has been lurking around in this leak rumor mill for a while now, since last year, like almost last year's summer, I think. Bail Organa would make a ton of sense to add to Galaxy of Heroes, especially if we are really thinking there's a Leia Galactic Legend of whatever variant. Bail Organa, kind of an important figure for Leia's upbringing and a ton of influence, how her leadership style came to be. Funny enough, another thing that was in that roadmap, which again isn't too far-fetched based off some other things, Gungans are on there as something that, again, was apparently in the works. Now, you gotta understand, in the works could mean it's in the ideation stage and they never act upon it. Maybe they are actively in development. Again, point being is a lot of this stuff has come true. So the Gungans are in there, so who knows? This could easily be those next 3 characters might be building up a brand new faction. Seems a little weird. You'd think maybe there'd be 5 new characters because we have no Gungans in the game. I don't think we've never even played on Nouveau in the game. But you know what? There could be like a weird off chance. If Padme Amidala is not like a necessary thing to any team, like end game team, she's okay, she's decent, you can use her. But it wouldn't be too crazy, right? If we maybe had Padme R2D2 on a team with 3 Gungans. Would that be too far-fetched? A new Nouveau type of team? Boy, I thought about that on the spot. That actually is kind of interesting, right? Would take advantage of Padme a lot more, make her a lot more valuable. R2, we've been asking for him to be a lot more important in the game. 3 Gungans, Nouveau team. I think that's actually kind of interesting. And speaking of adding new planets to Rise of the Empire, like we talked about with the possibility of a new Leia, a while ago when they released Rise of the Empire, the question came up, why wasn't Nouveau added? And apparently Nouveau was on the list to release, but they didn't do it. And then later on, when they were talking about Rise of the Empire, they sort of teased that Nouveau could be coming soon. And they brought up the interesting tidbit or teaser that there's quite a few empty spots on the map though, and they left a lot of dots in between. So I don't think it's too crazy to speculate that Gungans could be a part of this next batch here. But also I think we should maybe consider like one more thing. This could, again, just be some new ship additions. 3 new ships sounds like a lot. It doesn't have to be all 3 ships. It could be 1 ship, 2 characters. Generally, I mean, at least in general, CG doesn't release that many ships, and we've already had a lot of new ships this year so far. TIE Defender, Fury class Interceptor, 2 new Sith ships. So far, they're putting out a lot of ship stuff. So I'm really banking on new characters coming, but also from that 2023 leaked roadmap that we talked about, there was also discussion of some Mandalorian Season 2 stuff and Book of Boba Fett. So for example, the new Naboo starfighter that Mando flies, there was apparently in the rumor leak mill, it was something in development over there. And if we're bringing in new Gungans, I mean, it would be kind of interesting putting in a Naboo starfighter at that time, right? The only problem is we don't really have another Mando to really pilot it. It wouldn't make sense having the old marquee Mando pilot a new ship, so I think we would need a new Mando. And again, that was another thing that was in the rumor mill, leak mill last year, was that there apparently was a dark side. I said, this is something I kind of messed up on. It said DS Mando last year in that 2023 roadmap, and I'm an idiot. In hindsight, I said in the video, a dark side Mando. And I was like, what is a dark side Mando? DS probably stood for Dark Saber Mando, so it could be something like that, which I'm all down for, but wanting more fun Mandalorian stuff to come, and especially with the Krayt Dragon raid, I wouldn't be mad to have more Mando love. But that's kind of it right now. What are your thoughts? Where's your mind at right now with all this? Do you think these are going to be the characters that are going to start being needed for the next Galactic Legend? Are you on board of a Leia being a Galactic Legend? If I was a betting man and someone put a gun to my head and I had to pick something, that's honestly where put my money down. You guys let me know down below. What are you hoping it is? What do you really think it's gonna be? I had such a great time talking about this with you guys. Hope you enjoy your weekend. And always remember that it's great to be the Empire today. The sun never sets.